We made it. Oh, here we go. Episode 3, we made it. Shout out Cisco. Thank you so much. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm ready for 3. Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. My pockets are hurting a little bit. You know, it's a bear market out here.
We are bear market chilling right now.
Bear market. It has improved a little bit over the last, I want to say maybe a month, but still nowhere where we need to be.
Still bear market vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's tied, with everything going on in the world and the real world economy. We're talking about cryptos and NFT, but everything's kind of bear right now.
Absolutely. Like, I'm trying to even remember last time because I gauge it with Bitcoin. I think it's around like 21K right now for
that's what Bitcoin is.
1 Bitcoin. I think this time last year was like at least double that, maybe
in the 60.
Yeah, I know it was 60 at one point. I don't know if it was like late October when it hit or something like that, but this time last year was at least past 40. So we're like,
I don't know, Ethereum this time last year was $4,000 for a coin for one.
It's crazy to think. What, like 2 months ago was under $1,000, or maybe 2.5 months ago or something.
Maybe even more recent than that. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it creates opportunity to do some learning. If you were good at saving, this is the time to buy some things that you're interested in. But to me, it's weeding out a lot of the bad actors.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, there's been so much hype in crypto and in NFTs. Like it's hard to almost believe that it's real. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like you mentioned, like it was $4,000 last year, and that kind of just put a blanket of like opportunity for anybody trying to create a project and insert themselves into this phase, if you will. Like, oh, crypto overall, it's skyrocketing, blah, blah, blah. Let me just put out any type of project with no utility, it's just a picture essentially. Mm-hmm. So now that it's down bad and you've seen all those projects go down to zero, it really like puts things into perspective on like, and this is something we probably should have said the first couple episodes, but doing your own research.
Yeah.
It's critical. It's critical. Even what Matt and I say on here, like, take it with a grain of salt. Go do your own research because
this is not investment advice.
Yes, this is not investment advice. So we've got a little bit to play around, and we really believe in the space and where it's going to take us. And there's going to be some early innovators in the space that hopefully that we've invested in, but time will tell.
No, but do your own research. That's an actual like crypto term that's grown over the last couple of years. Yeah. The DYOR.
Yeah,
like,
DYOR.
DYOR. Yeah. Do your own research, and that to me that came from all the hype in this world. Like there were so many projects coming out. Everything was doing well. People were just as quickly as possible jumping into projects and spending their own money, spending their own crypto or whatever they need to buy in, and without actually knowing who's running this project, what are they doing? Like, how have they built businesses in the past? Like, what's the real plan here? Because we're talking about NFTs and all this front loading, all this pre-funding artists or pre-funding projects. That could go really bad if that person you funded walks away.
Exactly. And like a lot of this stuff too is like, who's the face of what's happening behind the scenes? Because a lot of the scamming and shitty projects that are out there are behind a celebrity that doesn't know what they're doing either, but people are invested into celebrity culture. So naturally it's like, oh, if Paris Hilton co-signs this, it must make money. You know what I'm saying? And she doesn't know a thing about NFTs or
actually
whatever. Well, that was a bad example. She just came to mind, but she's actually like thorough in it. But
I get where your head is.
Antonio Brown. Let's take Antonio Brown.
Any of the guys from the Players Only project that I bought into. Yeah. A couple of Pistons too.
I didn't want to bring that up.
None of them are on the
Hopefully
team
they're
anymore.
Ex-Pistons.
Yeah, they're ex-Pistons now, and some other team is going to be ruined by their contracts. No, but also like at the beginning of this NFT run-up last year, part of the mystique was being anonymous and being, you're digital. You have your own digital identity. You can kind of start over and become who you can become. So, I mean, that led to a lot of, at least the fake creators or the fake scammers or inexperienced creators or founders of these projects. You think you're reading all about these people and their bios and their history, but I mean, anyone can put anything they want on a website.
Right.
of what they've done in the past with their, avatar of whatever project. Who knows? Like, you got to put in more research behind that, unless you're willing to just throw some money and see if it works. Which, hey, all the power to you.
Yeah. What comes to mind is that it was like a very popular project. I think it was like Azuki.
Yeah.
I'm saying it wrong, maybe.
No, Azuki.
Is it Azuki?
Yeah.
And so it became one of the more profitable projects like of the last couple months. And I don't know why it randomly came out, but I feel like
it had an anime. It had an Asian backing, not just Asian people following it, but like the creators were this Asian animation studio or something like that.
Yeah, and the creators of the project, they've had projects out before that were scams. And so there's this term called rugging. So like somebody
pulls the rug right out from under you.
Fantastic freaking marketing. Like, hey, this is what the project's going to do. We're going to come out with merch. We're going to fly all of our holders to the moon. Whatever. Go. You know what I'm saying? And then they build up all this hype, get everybody's money, buy into the project. The project might sell out, it might not. And then everybody hops into the Discord about, okay, what are the next steps so I can essentially access the utility, and they get ghosted.
Mm-hmm.
Like the creators of the project are nowhere to be found. That's called getting rugged. It's like getting the rugs ripped out from under you. And
to take this into the crypto side of it. What was that show, the Netflix show last year, where they have the game? Everyone's competing in the game. The last person to stay alive.
Squid Game?
Squid Game.
Yeah.
Squid Game, yeah. Someone randomly decided to put out a squid coin, like a crypto coin, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, squid coin.
Building off the Squid Game hype.
Yeah, literally building off the hype. Everyone was super pumped about it. I forget all the details behind like what was said it was going to do or be used for, but all the hype behind people on the Squid Game bandwagon, they raised several $1 million within the first day or two of that, and then those people cashed out. They liquidated their Squid coin
and bounced
and pieced.
See,
and
like
that the price of that dropped from a couple $100 per coin down to pennies on the dollar.
That hurts the entire community, and that hurts like the technology as a whole when you're trying to get people to evangelize this thing and get behind this. And when you have people taking, which unfortunately happens more often than not, just trying to figure out how to game the system. And so I brought up Azuki because people in that community didn't do their own research. There was a couple who saw it like, hey, a couple of these creators, they've been part of projects that have been rugged in the past, projects where they just ghosted.
Didn't one of the creators pretend to be a woman?
Yeah.
On one of the last projects?
Yeah.
To hype up the woman movement or something? Like, literally the scum of the earth.
It's foul out here, man. It's foul.
It is.
Like,
but whenever money's involved and there's new things happening, there's going to be greed. There's going to be bad actors. And they're going to get the headlines. They're going to get the focus. But it's not the majority of people.
Right.
There's a lot of good out there. But it doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about the bad, because that's as important as anything.
Exactly. And I just bring that up because like that's something we definitely should have mentioned. But overall, that does not contribute to the bear market that we're in. Like you said, everything is down. Like stock is down. And like the shit that we need is up, like gas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay, we can't make any money, but we have to spend double or triple what we're accustomed to, and that's just life. But
didn't you have an experience early on? Maybe it was your first NFT. You didn't do much research.
Didn't at all.
Some breeding capability. Can you tell me that real briefly?
So I was just hype off of the concept of blockchain. And
this was last summer. This was last spring. Everything's going up.
Yeah, almost a year and a half ago. And yeah, like there was this project that was marketed to me like, oh, this is the first project that you can breed NFTs. So there's like a female version and a male version in this project, and I'm gonna shout them out because fuck them. But Hype Hippos was the first project that I got into the NFT space with.
Irony.
And so then, hype. And I told all my friends about it. I'm like, yo, this is the first project that you could breed, and then it'll create a whole new NFT. Not knowing that there's already been projects that existed like that, because I didn't do my own research. I just took it at face value that, hey, these ones you can breed. And so I got in it. I bought like 3, and then my homies bought a couple, and then we waited for the female version.
You told
to come
them
out.
to buy a couple, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's the last time you told people.
And that's the last time I told anybody to buy anything. Like on this streamcast, like I'll tell you what I'm into and what I've invested in, but I'm never gonna say everybody get on Hype Hippos, Bored Ape, or whatever.
We aren't here to convince you. No. We're here to just have conviction in what we're doing.
Yeah, because like I felt like a piece of shit after that when the whole project rugged, and then obviously the value of a Hype Hippo hit zero. So it's like.
But if I remember correctly, that time, I mean, for people who don't understand breeding, or how that makes any sense with what we're talking about, this is at the time when Bored Apes had gone to the moon. Gone to the moon. Bored Apes have mooned. They've gone to the moon, which created very little opportunity for new people to get into the Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem.
Right.
So
they wanted to expand the community.
They want to expand the community, create something with a much lower barrier to entry. So they introduced these mutant apes, the Mutant Ape Yacht Club. But the only way to get them, or to get one, was if you owned, and maybe I'm not covering the exact details, but basically the original owners of the Bored Apes were airdropped this serum. Various. It's its own NFT, but it's basically something you can combine these 2 NFTs to mutate your Bored Ape into a mutant ape.
Yep.
Which there's going to be more of them or whatever, so the price to get in is much cheaper. So those did really well, and that I think created this element to these new projects where we're going to try these new things, and morphing your immutable token is something we're going to do, which is hard to wrap my head around saying that. But that's the hype around that was happening at that time.
Yeah.
It seems insane to us right now.
Yeah. And I fell for the bait of the Hype Hippos that, you could definitely, this is the first of its kind. I even think the project sold out. So a bunch of us got screwed over.
Was selling out.
And so like I ended up getting muted in the Discord, and we definitely got to talk about the Discord, but I ended up getting muted in the Discord because I was essentially cussing out the owners every chance that I could. Like how the hell could you guys do this? And so like they were paying attention enough to mute me, but they never responded. But that happens more often than not. It's really unfortunate, but it didn't deter me because that was my first project. And essentially what kept me around was still the technology, the understanding of the blockchain, seeing the success of Bored Ape, CryptoPunks, VFriends, some of these other projects that have been around and stood the test of time. Essentially, they're down now because we're in a bear market, but there are actually some real value to it, and you can see them being utilized in different ways. Like I've seen NFTs on billboards. Like I mentioned last episode, Future did a concert and had his dancing. Yeah. Like there's different ways you can utilize it. Weren't you the one telling me that somebody owns a Bored Ape and then they made it into a restaurant? And,
down in Florida, Bored and Hungry. Yeah. They opened up a burger joint. Yeah. Named it Bored and Hungry. All the logo is that owner's Bored Ape.
And they own the IP of that. Yeah. And it's just like the shit that you can do is just like, it's crazy.
It's bonkers.
So I tell that story just to say, don't be discouraged. Like we've been there. Like you've been rugged by that players only situation.
Well, like, Jeremy Grant and Dennis Smith Jr. and
say their names.
Michael Carter Williams. Lance McCullers.
Right, and they're still out here promoting different projects and things like that, like bamboozling fans and
that rug pull. It was a rug pull too. Also a celebrity money grab. Yeah. Like this is. You touched on it last episode. On top of just rugs and pull, there are celebrities who are in this and now see an opportunity to make a quick buck. Like they see all the good headlines, or all the Logan Paul makes millions of dollars of this and that. Right. So they're starting NFT projects without actually knowing what they're doing. They're doing it just to get the money involved and promising whatever.
Absolutely.
It's not going well for those people.
So we've kind of like gone back and forth on this, like just personally on other podcasts and everything like that. But and this is just your opinion, but would you be more inclined to invest into NFTs when crypto is down, or the other way around when crypto is up and NFTs are down? Because there's definitely a correlation there, and to this day, I'm still trying to figure out what I think is the best avenue. I know we've talked about it, but wanted you to share your opinion on that.
That's tough because my first entry into it was when it was up, or at least on the way up, leaving the stratus, the Earth's atmosphere, heading to the moon. I mean, ideally, when it's down, I want to buy in because it's just cheaper to get into these projects.
When what's down, crypto or NFT?
When everything's down. I think when NFTs are down, how do I think about this? So,
because I think when NFTs are down, crypto is up, and vice versa. That's just what I've seen.
Yeah, I think the chart, the trends have been kind of funky.
Yeah,
they've been kind of funky the last couple months. So I may hold back on my opinion on this one, but I think what I've experienced so far, like when Ethereum is up, so when crypto is up, the NFT prices tend to be cheaper because who's ever selling them is still able to make the same or more amount of money if by the fractionalization of crypto and NFTs. Like, they can offer it for a lower crypto price while still making the same or more US dollar price.
Yeah.
So I think people are still operating with US dollar in mind, which excites me that it's still not. That's kind of how I judge if it's mainstream or not. Like, so I think,
because what you're saying, I agree with.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, I'm not right now. I don't look at my NFTs, whether I'm selling them or not. I'm not looking to necessarily make more money on each transaction. Like, right now, I'm looking to stock up
long term
Ethereum, like, because Ethereum is down, so I want as much of it as I can at its cheap prices. So when it goes up, I have more of it.
Yeah.
So more of it's going up.
Yeah.
But
that's a smart way to go about it.
When it's up higher, the NFT prices are down. So you can get into projects. So I don't know. It
checks and balances.
It all goes. This is investment strategy and how you're going to do. Like, I still don't know what my strategy is. A year and a half, 2 years into it.
Yeah.
Because it's ever changing. When it's just why, if you're ever listening to someone giving you investment advice on crypto, like, red flag, there can't be an expert right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a few out there, I'm sure. But
right. There's some people who've like mastered the system, or at least somewhat, until it changes again.
But like, this is the era of others have used this example before, but like the .com boom, right at the end of the 90s, early 2000s. Like, you have your companies like pets.com that are valued at billions of dollars for no reason. Like, it's not because of their balance sheet, it's not because of their company fundamentals, but it's the internet's coming. We're now understanding businesses can be run and make money. Like, oh, pets.com are promising all these things. We're going to value them at $75 billion, and they have this outrageous stock price. And what happened over the next year or two? Crashed. Pets.com doesn't exist anymore. But Amazon exists. Chewy was created recently. Like, Chewy is pets.com. Like, the good projects, the ones doing it right, everything's going to go down. Everything's going to go down. But who's creating, who's doing the right movements in terms of their project or business or coin or whatever the investment is? Who's doing the right things when the market's down? When the other things are crashing.
And coming through on what they're going to say and constantly innovating. Because that's what it is. Like even with your example of Bored Ape giving out mutant apes, like, that in itself set a whole new industry trend. Because now it's like you're looking at projects and be like, you guys are affordable. I don't understand why you're making another project. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for the Bored Apes, there are hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, like, naturally, that's going to be a segmented group of people. So it's like, if I want to expand this community, it has to be somewhat more affordable. Here's another project connected to the Bored Ape ecosystem, but at the same time, like, that can go up. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Because of the brand is so strong, because of the innovation that they've brought.
So I'm imagining in your head, we're both investors, or we both hold not World of Women, Women in Weapons.
Oh,
We
yeah.
both hold World of Women.
Yeah.
But Women in Weapons, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Awesome project.
Yeah.
You know,
Still a
initial
holder.
series that we've both supported.
I like Sarah.
But they just came out with a second series, which we've been, trained to, like, that's done to create a lower barrier of entry for people to come in at a lower price. But the original one isn't that expensive anyway. It's not like the original Women in Weapons are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Correct.
They're a couple $100s. So what's the strategy of Sarah Bauman and her leadership team with World of Women in Weapons? What's their plan with this series 2?
Yeah.
Like, why did they do it?
I wish we could straight up ask her. Like,
we got to get her on.
Yeah. I wish we could straight up ask her. But
You know what I'm saying?
that's like the perfect example of, and again, this is not no hate to that team or to
No,
Sarah
no.
or anything at all. It's just like, there is a trend and a standard that has been set to expand communities. To me, it might not make sense in some aspect, but maybe there's a piece that I'm missing.
Right.
And so, like, with the community-driven projects, like, it has to make sense. And, like, I do like the art, like, and I like the new art too. But
I agree with you, and I trust. I know enough
and I
about
trust
Sarah Bauman.
so it's
that
like, I'm writing
what
but
she's doing.
I don't get it.
Right. This is, maybe she needs to make it clearer what is coming up next, or this is how, on the topic of communication, like how literal communication, how are founders communicating with their customers or their community, their people?
And on that topic, I do want to talk about, like, the baseline of NFT communication, which does come from the Discord majority of
Discord and Twitter.
Yeah, Discord and Twitter. So for those that you don't know, if you purchase into some sort of project, there's usually a server connected to a Discord that you can hop into, and if you're a holder, then you're able to access different communication channels that normally you wouldn't have access to because you're not a holder.
This is part of the utility conversation. You
Correct.
hold this token, you get all these things, but it also gets you access to our community.
Correct.
Our Discord.
Right, and it's critical for communication because you need to know what's coming up. If you're a holder of this project and you get these assets that come with it, it's all explained. Hey, this is when you can expect it. This is how you access it, and this is what you do with it. And that all comes from Discord communication. And I think one of the main reasons we're in so many women-led Discord channels is because their communication is way better than the guys, in my opinion.
Right.
Because a lot of the projects that are male ran, it seems too frat housey in there. I know you and I have talked about it in the past, but it's like, it's so much hype, and then it kind of like craps out and whatnot. I don't know what it is, but I feel like the women-led projects, there's a lot more direction, a lot more organization, specifically with World of Weapons or Women in Weapons, World of Women and Boss Beauties, because they were the first of their kind, essentially, with these women-led projects.
And having just that center base, like that central reason, a good positive reason why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Whether it's for World of Women supporting up and coming women artists from around the world, or Boss Beauties mentoring Gen Z girls and teaching them they can have any job that they want, or any career that they want. Like, those are the basic goals, and I say basic respectfully. Like, those are the basic goals.
That's what they started the project on. Like,
Right.
This is what we wanted to accomplish, but then you get X, Y, and Z too on top of
Right.
that. You know what I mean?
But starting that, most people understood that getting into it, so they weren't just coming to the community to flip, to make a money
Right.
and get out. And not that there's anything wrong with the flip life or people trying to take their assets and make money off of them. It becomes a problem when we talk about the word community and as these projects are building communities. If you're trying to flip your token, but you're in a Discord hyping the project up, trying to drive the price up so more people buy it, but then your only goal is to just sell it. like that positivity is all fake hype. It's all,
which hurts everyone ultimately.
Which hurts everyone ultimately. So getting into the communities, that doesn't happen in Boss Beauties and in World of Women and Women and Weapons.
Right.
But you go to a lot of other communities, especially the bigger ones, like that's so prevalent, and it makes it hard to navigate Discord. Like there's just so many messages, and it's a lot for me. Like that's probably my biggest obstacle, or the hardest thing I deal with on a day-to-day basis. Is like, how do I follow all this stuff?
Yeah, because like for those of you who don't know, in the Discord, there's like a general chat. There's chats directly from the creators. There's like a flip chat where it's like, hey, I have this for sale.
Many.
Do you want to trade? All this stuff. And then what people are suggesting you should do with the project, and you just get notified 24/7. Like that is a little bit overwhelming, and I wish there was like a way to like figure that out, which I think it's coming, but I think a lot of other projects could hop in the World of Women Discord, Boss Beauties, Women and Weapons, and learn from them on how to like organize this shit.
Definitely.
Because it definitely is an issue, but I definitely encourage, not tell you guys, but encourage everybody just to hop into Discord and really just experience it, especially if you're interested in getting involved in NFTs. And so you can get like a little taste before buying a project. Like you don't have to be an owner. The only thing is you don't get certain access to certain channels, but you don't necessarily need that to like get a full understanding of utility, what's going to be available to you if you do become an owner.
I'd say any of those three, World of Women, Boss Beauties, Women and Weapons, and just one that I know from experience, V-Friends. Hop into any one of those 4 Discords and either just watch what's going on or simply type, hey, I'm new here. Where should I start? What should I do? Those 4 communities will all have people who respond to you and help steer you in the right direction. They're very helpful and very, wanting to make it a good experience for everybody.
Yeah, and on a creative tip, Mumbot's Discord, which
an artist.
I hope she's gonna do her podcast. She says she might. So.
Yeah, she will.
But yeah, she's an artist, like coming from just a straight artist perspective. Like the World of Women, the Boss Beauties, those are like specific projects with like a goal in mind that they're building to. Like Boss Beauties has like a bunch of advertisements that they've already secured and things like that. Mumbot is operating strictly from an artist level, which is like the way she promotes other artists in there is super cool too. Like, cause she's put me on to stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
she sells her own art, her own stuff. Mm-hmm. But what she's done is she's created this platform. It's called the Ghost Club. A lot of her art's very almost Alice in Wonderland-y.
It's
but
dope.
There's a lot of like ghost, characters. She created this Ghost Club, and that's where all types of different artists are in there collaborating and doing live paintings or live creating of whatever type of art that they do.
Yeah.
And just it's a really cool experience. I wish I understood more of the art, or I was more artistic, or maybe one day I'll jump in, I'll try something. But like to see how they're all collaborating with each other and just trying to help each other out. Like that's all I need to see for hope in this Web3 and NFTs.
Right. And corporate, they're gonna corporate, you know what I'm saying? So like I hope when they finally wrap their head around Web3 and this entire environment that they do pick up the Mumbops of the world and bring them in and like essentially like guide them to like, okay, how to use your art, how do you evangelize like this community that you built up, like instead of just, hopping in the Discord, ripping her off. And that's what I'm sure is going to happen. But she's one of the pioneers, like a bunch of the people that we met at VCon, and we should probably do like even bring our recap of VCon back to NRM. But
definitely
it's something that you see constantly. Like we talked about the music industry in our last streamcast, like corporate is going to figure out a way to like screw everybody over.
Yeah.
But and if you're listening to this streamcast, you are still early. So like, let's try to figure this thing out together. Like,
and there is a world. I know we're right at the end, but there is a world where we need some of those corporate centralized
for sure
and things. So until next time, we'll get into that a little more deeper. But man, I appreciate this conversation. This was good.
Take it easy.
Let's go.